All right, everybody, welcome back to the Pump Fake. Joined now by BYU wide receiver Puka Nacua. What's going on, buddy? I know we've been doing this for like 40 minutes now. This is a little bit inside baseball for everybody, but good to see you. How are you?
Life's good, man. I can't complain. It's a little chilly out here in Utah, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, we were talking about that. It's like almost 80 degrees near Pittsburgh where I'm at, and you said you just had a snowstorm down where you're at. So polar opposites right now.
Exactly.
For anybody listening to this as a podcast and here's like a small jet engine in the background, that's because I don't have an AC in this little corner office part, so I'm keeping the fan on. And if it bothers you, I'm sorry, but I'm not turning it off. So you became somebody that I put on my radar during Senior Bowl week. You had a really big first day. We didn't see you the rest of the week. Turns out you had a concussion. First day though, bud. I mean, you tore it up. Everybody was, that I talked to was like, all right, who's this Puka Nacua kid from BYU? He's having a day. Just talk about that experience and being down there with the best of the best of your class.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was hot. I'd never really been down there to the south, so it actually made it more comfortable that it was like hot and like humid. Like the sun was out for that first day of practice, which like that's natural football environment. But it was a blast. I had the lucky chance to get to trade with Jake Hayner, and Jaron was my BYU quarterback, obviously. So being able to work with those guys before we got out there to be able to kind of build a little bit of a connection made it a lot easier to go out there in that week and feel comfortable. But then also just go out there and play football. Like that's where I feel most comfortable. That's where I thrive. That's what I've been doing since I was a little kid. So it was super fun to go out there and compete against everybody that you see on TV. Like you see everybody playing on Saturday. So to put your skills to the test and put my skills to the test, I feel like I was able to leave not how I wanted to because I got hurt, but I felt like I was very confident in my skills, and it left me with things I know I need to continue to work on. So,
you mentioned to me that you've been training with TJ Houshmanzadeh throughout this draft process and whatnot. What was it like to work with TJ throughout the last few months and whatnot?
TJ, he's hilarious. He's got a very solid routine. I got to work with Michael Wilson, who's a Stanford receiver, who's somebody who I didn't really know in the college game until we got to train together. I love the way Mike moves. He's so efficient and explosive at the line of scrimmage. So that's something I knew I needed to work on. So being able to watch somebody who's been doing the stuff that TJ has been teaching for a while was made it easier for me to trust TJ. But then also like when I got out to the Senior Bowl, everything was the proof was in the pudding. Mike was one of the best receivers out there, and I feel like when I was out there, I was able to prove myself as one of the best receivers. So everything that we were doing, from the footwork to the releases to at the top of the breaks, the stretching and the mobility work we would do, like everything, it just all added up. So it made it super easy to feel comfortable out there playing football.
Yeah, in the last 2 years of your college career spent at BYU, the first two at Washington. Take me through, the transfer process and whatnot, going from Washington to BYU and how well you adapted.
Yeah, my first 2 years up at Washington were a blast. Like I had Coach Peterson there, and then COVID hit. So our 2020 season, we had Jimmy Lake as our head coach. But my mom's mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in the 2021 year, and then later passed away during that season. But I was able to transfer back home to be with my mom and my grandma in the last months that she had to live. But then just to be there with my mom, my older brother had transferred from the University of Utah back here down to Provo. So for our family to be together during that time was super big for me. And then everything was just able to work out so smoothly at BYU. Being able to play with my brother made it so effortless that I knew we were competing with each other every day, and being able to come into an environment where we had both new people, being both in-state kids, made the locker room super easy to kind of mix with. But then the Polynesian culture and just the way everybody operated in the locker room, because there was a lot more older guys and guys who are married and who have kids, the locker room was very mature. And so there's like daily competition, but it was also like the competition that you get everywhere, but it was also like not, I don't know. Our team bonding was very different than what I imagined it would be like when I was coming from Washington. So, but we had a blast playing ping pong. Like it was like we did everything in the locker room because guys had other commitments as soon as they left. So I enjoyed every moment we get to spend in the locker room with those guys.
having cookouts with the guys wearing jorts and Air Monarchs on the weekends? Is that something that took place in BYU locker rooms?
100%. I was gonna say I thought you were describing Jarrett Hall right there.
Are you telling me that your former quarterback Jarrett Hall owns a pair of Air Monarchs? I would love to know that this is fact.
I would. I can't 100% confirm that, but I would be willing to bet a good amount of money that I know he has a pair of Air Monarchs.
Somebody's going to have to get a hold of Jarrett Hall and make him take a picture of his closet so we can get visual proof of this. That's something that needs to happen very soon. This process for you, obviously going Senior Bowl to Combine, how hectic have these last few months been? Because this is kind of, we're in the home stretch now, but from January till the beginning of March, has it just kind of been like a whirlwind?
Yeah, everything kind of happens so fast. Like you don't even notice. Like you're waking up, you have your schedule of going to work out, like going to catch, going to run routes, going to do receiver work, like, and then lifting again, like getting recovery and getting treatment, and then going back to do it all like again. And then it's like you have your benchmarks of like, okay, the Senior Bowl is this week, so like then when you hit Senior Bowl, like okay, there's this many time, but then okay, from the Senior Bowl to the Combine, there's this much time, but then you finish the Senior Bowl, you get back, you're like, oh man, like that was a lot, like I'm ready to take a break, and then boom, you're like at the Combine, you're like, oh wait, what the hell? Like how did this already happen? Like I just opened my eyes and now I'm here at the Combine, and that's why it's like, and now we're just like you said, we're on the home stretch of like coming to the pinnacle of it all. But it was a blast. I guess like I enjoyed every moment. I got to train with I was training. Jared Hall was right down the street for us, but Jake Hayner, like Tanner McKee, CJ was training with us, Bryce, Michael Wilson, Michael Mayer, like, so I got to know a lot of guys like while I was training, so it made it super cool and to see everybody's kind of where hopefully everybody's journey is going to go well and like see them in the league in this next year. But it was just a blast because we were just hanging out with the football guys. Like it was cool. It's in a different light. Still doing what I love every day, but then also like getting to adventure out in California was nice.
Dude, you talk about guys in a locker room where it felt like a dad environment. I saw Michael Mayer at his podium. He looked like he could punch a hole through a brick wall. He is a ginormous specimen of a human being.
A real life tank.
Yes,
he ate us up too when we played them too.
Good stuff. So take me through what it's going to be like on draft day. You're going to hear your name get called. Who's all going to be at the draft party, and how big is it going to be?
I think it would be kind of small. Just my family, my close family back here in Provo. Nothing too much. Maybe hopefully get some good food and have all my nieces and nephews around. Have my girlfriend with me. But nothing too crazy. I know I've been thinking about, damn, I want to have a big party, but that's definitely not my style. I just want to keep it low key, and once I get that call, I just continue to keep working and finally get to play ball. Like that's what I'm most excited for. Like get that call, be like, yo, like finally I get to play some football. Like let's get to it. Like when can I get out there as soon as possible? Good
food. What's gonna be on the menu at the draft party?
Oh, I'm for sure need some garlic chicken and some spam musubi, but then like I also like a good like moist chocolate chip cookie. Like I'm a big Pizookie guy, so like if we have a chocolate chip cookies, like a vanilla ice cream is a must. Like a simple Pizookie always is nice.
Good stuff all around. Puka Nacua, BYU wide receiver. Brother, good talking to you. Cannot wait to see what you do at the next level. Anytime you want to come on here, you have an open invitation, my friend. It's been great talking to you, all right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.